Hello and welcome to this info session on the New York Secure Choice Savings Program. I'm your host, Jenny Alton with the New York Small Business Development Center Central Office. The NYSBDC is a U.S. Small Business Administration resource partner with regional centers at higher education institutions and outreach offices at other locations across New York State. Our free advising, education, research, and advocacy services are made possible by funding from the SBA New York State and our host campuses. I am very pleased to welcome Kelsey Cheng today. She is the director of the Secure Choice Savings Program with the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance. And so, Kelsey, I will now turn the time over to you to cover all of these great details that business owners need to know.
Great. Thank you, Jenny, and thank you to the New York Small Business Development Center for having today's session for an introduction to the New York State Secure Choice Savings Program. My name is Kelsey Cheng, and I'm the director for New York Secure Choice. And today I'll be providing a brief overview of how New York Secure Choice works and how employers can prepare to facilitate the program and help their employees with a simple way to save for retirement. So to start, I like to begin first with why New York is implementing this program by looking at the retirement landscape in our state. And in New York, over half of workers lack access to a retirement savings plan in the workplace. And with many people not saving enough for retirement, and only 35% of adults say their retirement savings was on track, one factor is this lack of access to a retirement savings plan in the workplace. And why access is important is that while individuals may be eligible to contribute to their own retirement savings, very few do so on their own. Instead, studies have found that workers are 15 times more likely to save for retirement if they have access to a payroll deduction savings mechanism that can make saving easier. So how does New York Secure Choice address this access gap? So the New York State Secure Choice Savings Program is the state's new retirement savings program that provides private sector employees an easy way to save for retirement. The program is established in state law and overseen by a state board. We have a program administrator, Vestwell, and investment options with underlying investments that are professionally managed by State Street and BlackRock. And with so many workers in New York without access to retirement savings plans through the workplace, this program provides for an automatic enrollment payroll deduction mechanism for these employees to save for retirement and contribute to their own Roth IRA. And so for employers, your role is simply to facilitate the state program and maintain accurate employee records. So who is an eligible employer? New York employers are required to register and facilitate the program if they have 10 or more employees, do not offer a qualified retirement plan, and have been in business for at least 2 years. So if you're an employer that does offer a qualified retirement plan, then you are exempt from New York Secure Choice. For your employees, they are automatically enrolled and have the option to opt out. Their participation is completely voluntary. Employers would only add employees to the program who are 18 years or older and have earned wages. And this includes full-time and part-time workers. To dive in a little more on some of the key features of the program that employers should know about. So as I mentioned, the role of the employer is to simply facilitate the program for your employees. To highlight for some of the program features, there is no program cost to the employer. The program is easy to set up and integrate with your payroll process. There are no employer fiduciary responsibilities. and you're not responsible for or permitted to match your employees' contributions. Instead, the employer's role is designed to be limited. So first, you will register with the program, where you will create your online account in the employer portal, and then add your employees so that the program can contact them and set up their individual accounts. And as part of registration, you'll also add your payroll and banking information. Following that, your employees will have 30 days to decide to opt out of the program. And for those who remain and begin saving in the program, you will submit payroll contributions each pay period. So New York Secure Choice works with your payroll process, and you can choose to have your payroll provider, accountant, or bookkeeper help manage sending the contributions. And finally, in your role as an employer for ongoing maintenance, you will continue to send payroll contributions and keep your employee records up to date, adding new employees when they're hired and marking employees who have left as terminated. And so we have a simple registration checklist that employers can reference that goes over these steps. So how does the program benefit your employees? So for them, this program provides them a simple and convenient way to start saving for retirement. When you add your employee information, New York Secure Choice will notify them of their options. They will have 30 days to do one of three things. If they take no action, they will save automatically with the default savings and investment options established by the program. And this is a key feature of the program that makes it as simple as possible for employees, where they'll be automatically enrolled and save 3% of their total pay. The other option for employees is they can customize their account by changing their savings rate and investment selections. Employees will have full control of their account and can determine how much they want to save. And lastly, employees can opt out. So those who opt out can choose to enroll at a later date, and those who are automatically enrolled can opt out of participation at any time. Again, their participation is completely voluntary. Now, for those employees who do not opt out in the 30-day period, a Roth individual retirement account will be established, and employees will begin saving automatically through payroll deductions into their account. These accounts are portable and can be kept by employees even if they change jobs. So if their new employer also facilitates the program, they will be able to continue to contribute to the same account through payroll deductions. In addition, employees can also link their own bank account to contribute directly to their account. Now, with the Roth IRA, the contributions are made on a post-tax basis and are subject to the contribution limits established by the IRS. And employees will always have access to their money. We have a helpful saver fact sheet that employers can provide their employees to help them understand their options and how the program works. So with that overview, let me get into what exactly it means to get started facilitating the program. So New York Secure Choice will notify eligible employers when it's time to register and provide you with your unique access code. However, you don't need to wait. The program is open for registration to all eligible employers. So as discussed, the first step of registering involves creating an account and log in to the employer portal. The company information that is needed includes your EIN or employer identification number, the access code that we provide you, your contact information, along with your banking and payroll information, such as your pay schedule and payroll provider. The employee information you will need to prepare includes their full name, date of birth, social security number, address, and either an email or phone number. The second step is sending contributions. For those employees after the 30 days who have not opted out and are now saving through the program, employers will set up the payroll deduction and submit their contribution amounts in the employer portal each pay period. Now, your employer portal will provide all this information, including the contribution rates for employees who have changed their default selection. And just to go to a little bit more detail on sending contributions. So we've made it easy for employers to complete this step and for it to flow seamlessly with your existing payroll process. So when employers register with New York Secure Choice, they will select a funding method for their employee contributions, the most common being providing their banking information that they use to run payroll. And so there's a few ways to submit these contributions. One is through payroll integrations. Vestwell has integrations with over 60 payroll providers with either a 360 or 180 integration that can make this process seamless and automatic. Please note that even with an integration, employers are responsible for adding any new hires and terminating any individuals in the portal who have left their organization. And you can find the full list of providers at our website and learn more about payroll integrations in our help center. And if your provider is not listed and they are interested in setting up an integration, they can contact our program administrator, Vestwell. Alternatively, another option, if you work with a payroll provider, accountant, or someone else that assists with your payroll and will be helping in the facilitation of the program, we recommend adding them as a teammate. So teammates have the same access as the employer and can be added directly to your employer portal. And finally, even without an integration, or if you process payroll in-house, it is very easy to manage your employer account on your own and upload a template with the contribution amounts for all employees at once. So throughout your time facilitating the program, you and your employees will receive various communications from the program, whether it be by letter, like what's shown on the screen, or through email. So communications informing eligible employers that the program has launched were sent out with your unique access code, and additional communications continue to be sent out. So all eligible employers can now register for the program. If you cannot find your access code, you can retrieve it online at our program website. And so similarly for employers, for your employees, once you've registered and added their information, they will also be notified by Vestwell about New York Secure Choice, and they'll have 30 days to take action before payroll deductions may begin. So the email address is here that you'll receive communications from, so you know it's coming from New York Secure Choice. So as I mentioned, New York Secure Choice will notify eligible employers when it's time to register. Applicable deadlines for 2026 are based on employer size for registering with the program. So employers with 30 or more employees, your deadline was March 18th. Employers with 15 to 29 employees, your deadline was May 15th, and those with 10 to 14 employees must register by July 15th. But again, there's no need to wait. The program is open to all eligible employers. If your deadline has passed, it's not too late to register. You should act as soon as possible. So using your unique access code, you should register today. And again, if you can't find your access code, you can retrieve it online at newyorksecurechoice.com. So if you do receive a notice from us and already offer a qualified retirement plan, again, you can easily go to our website and certify your exemption from the program. So I just want to highlight some of the resources that are available for employers and their employees, so that you have it available to review and to understand your responsibilities. So we have a fact sheet, we have registration checklists, so you can make sure that you have everything you need to get started, along with FAQs and other resources. For your employees, similarly, there's a fact sheet explaining how the program works and a program description that provides more detailed explanation of the program processes, and that's available in multiple languages. And of course, encourage you to visit the program website at newyorksecurechoice.com for more information. So next, I'd like to just go over a couple of common questions that we get, starting with questions about eligibility. So the first one is about what is considered a qualified retirement plan that would make an employer exempt from the program. So these types of plans include a plan qualified under Internal Revenue Code sections 401A, and then that includes a 401k plan, plans under section 403A, 403B, a simplified employee pension plan under section 408K, a simple IRA plan under 408P, and plans under section 457B. Another common question we get is, do I need to include both full-time and part-time employees? And to that, yes, employers that have 10 or more employees, including full and part-time employees, need to add these employees to the program. There is not a minimum hours requirement for employees to be added to the program. Another common question, if employers offer a qualified retirement plan, but only to some of their employees, are they still exempt? And yes, so if employers offer a qualified retirement plan, even to only some employees or limits participation in that plan, you are exempt from New York Secure Choice. So if you do receive an access code from the program, go to the website and certify your exemption. Next question, can an employer with less than 10 employees participate? So no. So employers with less than 10 employees are not eligible and are exempt from the program. Next question, are business owners eligible to participate? And yes, if they are considered to be employees for tax purposes, they can be added to the program. So now I'll cover some questions about an employer's responsibilities with the program. So New York Secure Choice is free for employers to facilitate for their employees and is easy to set up with minimal ongoing responsibilities. So as we kind of covered already, it involves registering with New York Secure Choice, providing the program with your employee information, and then remitting contributions for employees who are saving in the program and keeping that employee roster up to date. The program will send the communications directly to employees who have been added, and let them know how they can access and customize their account within the program. The next question of when an employee leaves the business, what does an employer need to do? So simply in the employer portal, employers would just mark that employee as terminated. Those employees will continue to have access to their account through New York Secure Choice. Next question about, can an employer contribute to an employee's account? And no, they cannot. So employers are not permitted by IRS rules to match their employees' contributions in this program. All contributions to an employee's account should be deducted from their payroll or deposited themselves from their personal bank account. So an employer's role is limited just to facilitating the program. Next, do employers report contributions on their employees' W-2s? And no, they don't. The program is structured as a payroll deduction IRA and not a retirement plan that needs to be reported on your employees' W-2s. The IRA trustee for the program will file Form 5498 with the IRS and will send employees a copy for their records. Next, do employers need to file Form 5500 for this program? No, they don't. So New York Secure Choice is structured as a payroll deduction IRA and does not require filing Form 5500. So when do employers begin payroll deductions? So following the 30-day decision period for employees to opt out or customize their account, employers would then begin payroll deductions for that first pay period following those 30 days for those employees saving in the program. So we encourage you to check out the Health Center articles to guide you on how to send these contributions and see if you have an available payroll integration. So how are employee contributions sent to the program? Again, when you register with New York Secure Choice, employers will select a funding method for their employee contributions, the most common being providing your banking information that you use to run payroll. And so when you enter your employer portal to submit contribution information after running payroll, this will initiate an ACH pull. Now, some common questions relating to employees. And how are they notified that they've been added to the program? So when an employer adds their employee information in the portal, the program will notify those employees either by letter or by email to inform them of their options under the program using the contact information that the employer provided. And so what if employees tell the employer that they do not want to save in the program? Can the employers opt them out? And so no, you cannot do that. So as an eligible employer, you are responsible for adding all of your employees to the program. Again, they'll be notified by the program that they've been added and how they can opt out of the program at that time. So employee participation is voluntary, and it is their responsibility to take action to opt out. So you as the employer cannot do this for them. So that concludes my presentation today. Again, please check out our program website at newyorksecurechoice.com for additional resources available for employers and their employees. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Jenny.
Kelsey, thank you. And could I ask you to back up to that contact slide that was at the end of the original presentation materials before the FAQs? I just want people to have a chance to see that one more time here at the end of our info session today. And
Sure.
while Kelsey does that, I want to say thank you for this fantastic and thorough presentation. And I appreciate all the hard work that you and your team have put in to bring this retirement savings opportunity to small businesses and entrepreneurs across New York State. If you have questions, you who are watching this info session, please use the contact information on your screen to get them answered. And just thank you for those of you who have watched, and we hope that this presentation will help you as you are taking advantage of this fantastic opportunity. All right, have a fantastic rest of your day, everyone. Bye-bye.